Alrighty, we just had Jacob O'Neill on the podcast. He runs men's groups and is a very deep guy. He's done a lot of shamanic journeys and a lot of cool shit. So we're talking about, you know, men's health and men's like mental emotional stuff, and it was an amazing episode, eh? It was cool.
Yeah, how we went off into the bush with Adam Callan for 10 days and lived off the land and spoke about the experience of that rite of passage that a lot of men don't get, and just lacking purpose and drive and what you hear on this earth to do. So a lot of gold in it, so tune in.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Corrective Culture Podcast. Today we have Jacob O'Neill, who is the founder of Tigom.
That's it.
Yeah, brother. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Stoked to be here. Thanks for having me on. I was like, just a few messages back and forth, and I've seen, all my bros are doing your cleanse at the moment. Everyone's
sick.
just like, oh, bro, you've got to see what's coming out of me, bro. You've got to see. Everyone's like, my libido's through the roof. So
yeah, that's good to hear.
yeah, dude. Everyone on the Gold Coast is just like cheering you guys on. So I saw what you guys do, and I just felt like, I wanted to connect in, and just it's always good to connect with other men on a mission.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, you can feel it, eh? It's good.
Yeah, that's sick. That's a crew doing it down there. It's doing people doing it around the world, really. But Goldie's turning into a bit of health hub now too, eh?
Oh, bro, it's everyone. I can be a little bit righteous. I'd be like, nah, I'm just gonna still drink a beer and still smash the coffees, and I'm gonna just force my way through it. But we've just come off the back of a deep medicine ceremony over the weekend, and like the resounding message from the medicine was like, look after yourself, motherfucker. Look after yourself, because you got big work to do. So
Cool.
it's hilarious that I'm up here and like talking to you guys. Everything's been about like looking after myself physically.
That's so cool, man. I did a card reading with Latao Wang in Hong Kong yesterday. Yeah. And I asked if I should get off coffee.
I hate asking that
dude,
question.
It's so funny. And I pulled a card. I pulled the this emperor chick, and he explained it as in like, he's like, she's a real loving human being, like just and you need her in your life to be creative and responsible and stuff like that. And he's like, but when you if you piss her off, then she shows her teeth. Yeah. And he's like, that's coffee for you. He's like, you need it in your life and you enjoy it, and it's a big part of your life. And I was like, fuck, spot on. Yeah. He goes, but you're abusing it, or you can abuse it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's so true. And he goes, so just give it a break every now and then. I was like, fuck, it's just magic, you know? This is tarot.
What does abusing it look like to you?
For me, abusing it is, I know my body now. It's very temperamental. And because I think my birth was quite intense, I think that I have a lot of my nervous system runs very sympathetic. So things like that raise cortisol a lot more than they should for a lot of people. This is my belief. And I feel it because I only have a magic every day at the moment, you know, or a magic? A magic, which is just a shot and a half of coffee. It's not much coffee. Yeah. Yeah. And the coffee's pretty clean. Like I've spoke to him about it. But yeah, I'm having processed milk with it as well. So it's I like a Ristretto flat white, which isn't all time. But yeah, the thing is, over a 6 to 8 month period of that, I need to get off it. And that's what works for me personally. There's no one size fits all for coffee, I reckon, eh? And same with everything. But you know inside yourself when you're abusing something, right?
This is like sorry to like segue hard to men's
work. I love
work.
it. Yeah.
I'm going to segue but one of the key things that we don't honor in ourselves as men, because of what society has created, is that we are nature and we have seasons and cycles. So fruit is harvested only once a year most of the time on trees. It doesn't, unless we've modified it. So like, where are we not honoring that in some seasons of our life, we actually have to have a break from, consuming something and give our body a time to actually cleanse itself.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like the last couple of years, I do a thing like 100 days. I just call it 100 days. And I do 100 days off alcohol and coffee, and it's from my birthday, the 9th of January, and I'll just do 100 days off.
You mad dog.
Yeah, and that's kind of resets me. And then I come back and I'm like, oh, I can enjoy coffee. And then normally by the time my birthday comes back around after Christmas, and if a few things, I'm like, okay, it's time to I guess go through this season. And doing that has like actually allowed me to stay a little more regulated rather than being all in or all out on something. Because that's normally I'm like, okay, I'm never drinking coffee again. or I'm never touching this ever again. I make it bad. And I put that in the bad column and this over in, so cacao's good. But then all of a sudden I'm drinking 5 cacaos a day and I'm just pumping myself full of all the mushrooms and all the tinctures. And then I'm just maxing my body out on all the supplements and I'm still trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, I fucking agree with that. And how important is it? Like me and Callan are really good. We hold, I guess we're our own little men's group, eh? Like we hold, he's like, sometimes I'll say something, he'll be like, yeah, but would your soul be good with that? Or I'll call him on something and it's like, that's cool. You know what I mean? And we need more of that. We need more like accountability and men saying like, hang on a second, that's not cool. What, like, you know, just hearing that is so good, so powerful for people. That's awesome.
I heard Tony Robbins say that. He's like, I want my friends to tell me when I'm being a fucking idiot. Like, in the sense of, like, when I'm doing something that's not right, I want my friends to call me out. It's like, no, that's not you. That you shouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he goes, that's what a real friend will do. You
Yeah.
know? And you need to be the sort of person that can receive that too. We were just sort of chatting about that before. Like, it's not everyone can receive that without coming at you aggressively. And I guess that goes back to nonviolent communication and getting really good at that. Because we had this girl did a nonviolent communication podcast and she teaches it.
Yes.
And basically I remember a friend showed it to me and they gave me an example and I realized, and Paul Chek talks about it like it's the most important book in his $1 million library. And how he goes, it's something that you literally can't come back at it if the way they word it to you with anger.
You're unstoppable. It's actually the keys to like connection. NVC is the one thing that I added, like, because NVC is something I teach to men who are nice guys. A lot of guys can't deliver hard truths. So one of the things that I've added, because I'm not too sure, I haven't read it. I've got that book straight after Paul Chek was on one of Aubrey Marcus's podcasts. I was like, I've got to read this.
The little one?
Yeah, I've got it. And it was so easy. And I was like, the piece I can't remember whether it was in it was like just asking consent. So with all my bros, I've got a sort of a close group of say 10 to 20 guys on the Goldie. The thing that I just say at the start is like, hey bro, you cool if I share something with you that I'm seeing? And that's instantly an invitation. And if they say no, okay, it's not. I'm not the messenger today. Maybe someone else needs to deliver that message. But if like, I'm like, cool. All right, this is going to be direct. I'm like, this is what happened, and this is what I'm seeing. Like, and delivering that consensually, has been the game changer.
It's powerful, isn't it?
And you know, consent is a funny word. It can be weaponized I believe in the personal development space where like everything has to be consensual, but that can kill polarity and can kill attraction and it can actually kill the passion in a relationship.
Definitely.
If you're constantly sending invites to each other, hey, would you
yeah.
like to have sex with me?
You like
at
your
7 p.m.?
missus, like your missus wants that passion. You're like, can you please come over to the kitchen bench while I...
Yeah, can you just pop yourself up on the kitchen
it
bench?
just takes away that whole like that shit I'm into.
But for guys, like receiving critical feedback can really exacerbate the I'm not enough or I'm wrong or who I am is worthless. So for me, it's most of the healing work that I deliver to men is just like providing feedback and then being like, and bro, I still want to be your friend and I still love you. And are we still going surfing tomorrow morning? Because let's do it. Like this feedback isn't about you and me. This is about, you know, your relationship with the truth.
Yeah.
It's amazing how we can see it in others, and even people that aren't into it can see it in what they need to do a lot of the time, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I can't say it's what they need to do, but like where their shit is. It's so easy how we can see it in so many.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, man. A good quick story. When my dad died, I wanted to see the body, but I didn't really.
Yeah.
And I hadn't spoke to Nick Perry. I fell off the wagon a little bit there. Hadn't spoken to him for a while, and then I called him and I just said, "Oh, Dad, my dad died." I think he maybe called me. I don't know. It was divine timing. And then I didn't want to see the body, and I said, "Look, I'm okay with not seeing the body." Blah 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 blah. And he just picked it up straight away. He was like, Can I tell you something, bro? And I was like, so
his
instantly,
voice too, right? His voice is just like, it's the perfect voice.
It is, you know what I mean?
Message,
yeah. And then he's like, "This is my experience with seeing the body." And then I was like, fuck, he got me, dude. So then I had an open casket and it was the best, most healing thing you can do, dude, is to fucking let everything come up there and see the body.
Yep.
And it was so good, dude. And so that when you were telling that story before, I was like, it's magic how much that can help someone.
Yeah, man. That's and that gift that he gave you, like you're never going to forget that, man.
No,
That's the gift of truth. And like
Power.
he was bold enough to share with you.
Yeah,
what
that's a
to be
true
shared.
friend, right?
That's courage, man.
Yeah.
And the best thing about like these true friends, like you said, like, we hadn't spoken in a while, but because of that, the depth and I guess that setting, that foundational set of values means that you guys have that connection at that level. Like that's the beauty of it. I really appreciate having men in my life like that. So especially when you're going through something that is new for you.
Yeah.
Like a death. Yeah, man. My grandfather's at the moment, he's in hospital and he's on his way out.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the conversations that I'm having with certain people around like what I'm moving toward. And same, like my wife's 35 weeks pregnant and we're moving toward this. And I'm like having conversations and I'm asking, and guys are sharing with me all of this wealth of information. And it's like, I wouldn't have had that if I hadn't have built these relationships with these men. So it's, one of them is Nick Perry as well. So it's, it's a beautiful experience to have.
That's sick.
Yeah. It's good how, and he put on his experience. So telling you what you should do.
Yeah, I know. Hey, do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Like anything. With any career or job, like that's the bottom line. They're speaking from experience.
Yeah.
From their wisdom. But man, for an example, like, because you'd obviously work with a lot of men that are feeling lost or lacking purpose, which I think is a big thing. Because I know for me personally, if I didn't have the purpose of what I want to do in this world, fuck everything, nothing else matters. Like that's the feeling I'd have, and I feel blessed that I'm clear on what I know I'm meant to do in this earth. You know, in my lifetime, at least currently. But for the people that don't have that, you would get a lot of guys coming in saying, oh, fuck, I just don't know why. Like I don't like my job. I don't know what I want to do for a job or purpose. Like how do you begin with working with someone like that? Is that always in a group form or is that one-on-one? What does that look like for you?
My favorite way to work with people, bro, is one-on-one. Intimacy is one of my core values, and I love to like really get to know someone. And like like a lot of guys want to find their purpose, but rather than using the word purpose, I'm like, can we actually bring harmony to the areas of your life that need to bring? Because purpose can sometimes get pigeonholed into your career. Or guys like, I'm doing it for my family, so I'm going to work in a job that I hate. Yeah. So purpose can get a little bit, it's a pretty charged word in the men's workspace. It's pretty kind of trendy. So I use the word vision. Like, what's the vision for your life? And the way that I structure it is I give them 3 core pillars for their lives, which is your vision must be great enough to include yourself, your relationships, and your legacy. And for me, like yourself is like, how do I create freedom to be who I truly am? And then how do I create connection with the people that I truly love is my relationships. How do I create a depth of intimacy? And then the legacy is like, how do I actually create a life of service that will have me remember or have like the work that I've done remembered in a positive way? And when guys see those 3 things, they're like, oh, okay. So it's not about just going all in on one. It's about creating a healthy relation or healthy kind of foundation for those 3 things to actually be like healthily fed.
And it's like Paul's model, the I, we, all model.
Yeah.
Is kind of similar to that, hey, in the way of like you build your self-love and then you relationships and then relationship with all, which is also kind of your legacy, eh?
Yeah, man. Like legacy is the one that I get tripped. I get very, very hyper singular focused. Yeah. And like legacy becomes like, I become obsessed with legacy just because I've watched so many movies and I'm like continually like wrapped up in the hero's journey. And like, I've got to do something great to be remembered for thousands of years. And then I start drinking too much coffee, start eating too many potato chips. I fucking skip breakfast and lunch, and then I wonder why I'm fucking eating all this shit food at dinner. My wife is like, we never spend any time together. I'm not surfing with my mates. Yeah. And like I'm over invested in one area of life. Doesn't mean that I'm not having massive and incredible impact, but I'm forgetting about these other areas of my life. So when I come home to my woman, she doesn't want to spend time with me. She's angry at me, and I'm like, I don't feel content. I don't feel like fulfilled. And it's like because I've created just an imbalance.
Yeah, and it's easy how you say like coffee or diet can really sneak in.
Dude, so bad for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's definitely there's not many people that are, that's why we like respect Paul and that so much, that have all those foundations at least, and I'm sure he goes off on them too, you know what I mean? But like, I know with his diet and that he wouldn't, but like on point, that's such a respectable thing. It's like the what you put in the mouth is the hardest, man. What did they heard someone say the other day? It's the first temptation, or it's the for man, like is food more than sex, more than everything, because like what you put in your mouth is like that's what breaks most people, because you see the guru meditating on the hill, but he's overweight or not moving his body or whatever.
That's the biggest thing in the spiritual world, bro. That's something that I'm not jacked to the max, and like a lot of my mates are all.
You're healthy, man.
I'm healthy, and that's one of the things that I'm slightly, I'd say, proud of. Around like, you know, I'm deep in the spiritual work. That's where I love to be, in the shamanic practices, and I love that, and I love to work deeply with people one-on-one in the healing realms. But I'm still in my body. I'm still aware, and like I one of my first jobs out of uni, I never went and got a marketing job straight away. I went and worked in a health food store, and I was like partying 4 nights a week still. But then I was rocking up, and I was just by being in that environment, I couldn't not like realize some shit. Like I was rocking up with tins of salmon from Aldi and a packet of white bread, and I was eating that for lunch. And this beautiful friend of mine, Kate, who I grew to like, you know, have a deep relationship with there, and she was just like such a beacon of hope for my health. And she'd just come home and she'd be like, no more of that here. And she'd go and like, she's like, here's how you cook an organic chicken. And I'm like, $38. But then I ate it, and I was like, oh. And then I started eating organic oranges and organic bananas. And then the first time I tried organic ham, and I was like, and then I was eating sourdough for the first time. And I'm like, and then drinking green smoothies. And all of a sudden, like, I was feeling on top of the world. And I was like, it didn't click, but like my kind of journey started with health.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And I know Paul talked about it in Spiritism the other day. He's like, if you don't have if your vessel isn't healthy, you'll never get the clear messages from source.
Dude.
So it has to be the body. It has to be that first. And that was the same experience for me. I got off Coca-Cola, and then I was like, well, I got more energy. That was like, you know, that was my first experience. And then I got on clean water, and I'm like, whoa, I'm starting to feel happy.
Yeah, bro. It feels like, that electrocution of like when you feel electricity running through your body when you get on the good water.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's fucking crazy, dude. That's like, so with us, we're just like, first thing, if they come in and they say they're on tap water, we're like, nah.
Yeah.
And if they don't change it, then we're not working with you. It has to be that. It's that simple, you know. It's like,
I went out to dinner for my sister's birthday last night. We went to Thai, and I've always said how Thai probably usually makes me feel the worst, or like Asian fusion sort of stuff. Like I don't know if it's the MSG or whatever the fuck it is, but I got this red duck curry, because I was like, all right, I don't get duck often. I'm going to get the red duck curry, and I've had it before years ago, and it's really nice. And then so first at the table we've got like the wontons and the deep fried sort of, and I didn't touch all them because I realized I am at my point now that I'm not perfect, and when I go out to dinner I'll eat whatever I want a lot of the time, but there's things that I'm like, I'm never going back to that. Like I'm not going to eat the spring rolls and stuff, because I just see that as like, that's too gnarly, like, you know, and that can stop me. It's not the thing that my taste buds fully want anyway, you know? But if there was some like cheesecake there, I'd be eating that. And then I had my duck curry, and within about 10 minutes, I was like, oh, now it's beginning. My body's starting to tighten up a little bit. Like my neck's tightening up. I'm starting to like move my neck like I want to crack it. It usually happens when I'm inflamed. And then a little bit oily. I could felt it. I was like, oh yeah, this is the full like inflamo tonight. I'm ready for this, you know? So I had all anti-inflammatory shit when I went to bed. But yeah, I can definitely feel it in my body a little bit today too. And night and day, man. Night and day, I was like, oh yeah, sweet. I can't stretch this away. And I'm so glad I have that awareness, because it happens every time.
Yeah.
But man, that's fucking arthritis gone on unchecked for 10 years, you know, or 5 years or whatever. That's cancer in 10 years of not listening to that shit.
Yeah.
And as Paul says, the first warning is you're tired. That's the first warning. You get tired before you get your infection, before you get your disease, before you get all that sort of shit is you're tired. And fuck, it made me, after I ate the meal, I was tired. Yeah. Didn't get energy from it. Like you said with your organic orange and your organic, all that sort of shit, you get energy from it. Like,
man, that's, you know, that like I went and sat, like I said, I sat medicine on the weekend. I sat with, a beautiful medicine called Huachuma, which is the cactus from Peru. And it's like, it's been my teacher for 8 years. It's been a huge part of my journey. People ask me like, who have you worked with? I'm like, this is who I've worked
Wachuma.
with. Wachuma.
Yeah, sick.
Wachumita. But it like sat me down and it said, look how you're treating your body. And I had 3 things come through and it was like they were compounding. It's like, love your body, bro. Like, because with the legacy thing, right? I've been like, just come on, body, stop needing to sleep. You don't need food. We just need to get this next post out. We just need to get this next ticket. And I was like, it was almost like I wasn't, and my body's like, hey, bro,
I'm here.
yeah. And I was just like overriding. And that was the first thing that came through on the medicine. It was just like, look after yourself, bro. Like, you cannot look after everyone else long term if you're doing this. So like that was the first. And then what came through after that was, hey, bro, it's going to get better. Like in my head, I'm having this baby with Meg and I've got this, you know, we're about to launch the next sort of stage of our business with the men's work stuff. And I was like, for it to get better, it has to get harder. So in my head, I thought I had to like sleep less, enjoy my life less. Everything has to get harder if it gets better. And then it's like, bro, it gets better and it gets easier. And I was like, well, if I look after myself, then of course it's going to get better. And of course it's going to be easier. And then the final thing was like, if you want me to work with you, you have to want to work with me. And that was huge for me with the medicine because like I've kind of rejected my shamanic threads. I've like not really like owned it as much because I've kind of hidden it away. And it's like I really have to own what I want to do. And for me to love myself, look after my body, it gets better and easier, which means that I'm going to obviously want to do what the fuck I want to do. And that's, if you ask me around like circling all the way back to purpose, like the first thing I start with guys is their worthiness wound. I'm not enough. So we start there and it's like, let's actually just like look at that because then if we try to build this purpose on top of like a broken heart or an inner child that isn't loved, we can build a multi-million-dollar business. You can have 5 beautiful kids and the most gorgeous wife on the big house on the water. But if you're still like not tending to the dark corners of, you know, the unloved parts of you, bro, we're just building we're building on quicksand. Yeah,
exactly. Hey, and that's all that always ends. And you see that so much with people like that turn 50 or something like that and have midlife crises and stuff like that. Totally. And they're often very successful, but they're like they've got all the cars and all the houses and they've had the women and all that stuff, and they're like, "Fuck, I'm still not fulfilled."
Yeah.
And connecting with like Paul and Spirit Gym has really taught me lately in the last couple months, or month. It's been really, really like I just know now what's important, and it's nothing external. Like there's nothing so far. There's no joy in this life that's been as fulfilling as like going inward. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you're okay in here with everything, then what really is there outside of you that can fucking, you know? It's an odd feeling. It's an odd feeling, but I think you taste like Michael Singer says, find the river of joy inside yourself and drown in it.
Yeah.
And that's what like I'm dipping the toe in.
Yeah.
It's important. It's like, cause like there's fucking flashy chicks with big tits and big asses and there's shit everywhere in Instagram.
Yeah,
and
man.
it's so easy to get caught in that. And I do as well. Sometimes I'll find myself scrolling and be like, you know, the reptilian brain's on and I'm just fuck yeah.
I got that dog in me, bro.
Yeah,
like I'm no different than any other man. But
Yeah.
What you're talking about is like, for me, is like the spiritual warrior.
Yeah.
It's not the warrior that can bench press and, and kill in the ring. It's like, yeah, that's one thing, but it's almost the samurai, the essence of the samurai. And, there's a really beautiful prophecy, the Shambhala warrior prophecy. If you haven't, there's a really great sort of 15-minute video of a lady explaining it. And the actual weapons that the Shambhala warrior carries is compassion and insight.
Cool.
And I think that's just so beautiful. It's like, we're not actually, and that like insight, like to actually go within. And then when you go within and you create insight, you then have compassion. You know, you can see when a guy lashes out or carries on one of your posts, or maybe he's being a dick. Or maybe a guy's, takes the piss out of you for, I don't want the tap water, or I don't want the spring. Oh, come on, mate. What are your fucking health? It's like, you can be like, oh, bro, like you can see the inner child. You can see the hurt behind his words and just like, I don't need to fight you, bro. I can see that this isn't coming from your heart. It's coming from the wound. And that has been my greatest gift to myself, is to like, go within, so I don't have to change everything outside of me.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying this morning to a friend, is like, it's all forms of God and source. It's like, there could be the crazy person talking to himself or the person that just gets you on the wrong day. But like, I think I'm seeing now, I'm like, fuck, it's all just perfect. It's all just forms of God. And it's like, it's whether you react to it or not is the thing, eh?
We were talking about Joe Rogan Stand Up. I just watched the Joe Rogan Stand Up. Just came out on Netflix.
Oh, Meg was watching that the other day. Yeah.
And there's one bit where he goes, all these people listen to me and during COVID, and if I say misinformation, all this shit, and he goes, if you're taking information from me anyway, that's crazy. And he goes, but yeah, they listen to you anyway. They take your advice. He goes, all right, well, here's my advice. Don't take my advice. Okay? But then he goes, because the guy that tells me that that's right. He spoke about Prince Harry. Prince Harry, he goes, I woke up and all of a sudden I'm seeing a prince saying my name, saying I'm spreading misinformation. He goes, first thought, he goes, well, this prince, and the second thought, he goes, did I spread information? Like, that's the thought. And then he goes, but really, he goes, no matter what no one says to you, he goes, you would think what I thought if you grew up and you were me. And he goes, and I would think exactly how you would think if I had all these same experiences as you, and basically if I was you, I would think that. And he goes, so in the end, we're one.
Yeah.
And which means, so we're all source anyway.
Yeah.
And he goes, no matter what these people think, you're like, you can accept, oh, I get it. This guy thinks like that because he should think like that because this has been his experiences that lead up to this moment in time. And he has to exist because if he didn't exist, it would be weird. You know?
Yeah.
And he needs to exist because these possible outreaches of possibility that can be created in the world has to exist because that's the polarity.
Yeah, that's a polarity. Eh? And another cool thing I heard, like, you told us like all the work, obviously you've done a lot of work in this life with journeys and all sorts of stuff. Now take all of that away and then that's who you're looking at a lot of the time. So it's like, you're looking at someone who hasn't done the work and you're looking at someone who might ever not do the work.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's so like me with my dad. And it's like I look at him and I get angry and I'm like, hang on, you've just spent the last 8 years just all in on yourself. Let's look at what he was doing at that age. Oh, he had 4 fucking kids in a different time, in a different world, doing different things. Oh, okay, cool. All right. He's not me. How can I expect him to be me or be at my level in what I'm seeing is perfect? And it's funny what happens after that kind of, oh, we're all one. I don't need to change anything.
Yeah.
Like that literally, like I literally then learned how to communicate so much more compassionately. And that NVC stuff we were talking about, like I've learned how to invite people without expectation. And that has changed my fucking life.
What do you mean by that, man?
So for me, there is a level of like neediness that comes when someone, like for instance, if I saw in my dad, hey dad, stop drinking Coca-Cola, I need him to change. You need to stop drinking Coca-Cola because it's bad for you. I'm creating a dynamic where I know better, where I'm like above him versus I can invite him in different ways to experience something without expectation. So when he comes to our house, there's no Coca-Cola in the house. When he comes to our house, I cook and I feed him healthy food and I give him experiences. And then the invite without expectation was last year we did the second gathering of men and I was like, I need help. And there was a real vulnerability in that. I was like, I actually need help from people to run this. Like this isn't something I can do all on my own. And I rang my dad and I said, hey, I'd love for you to come. Like, would you like to come to the retreat that I'm running and help me? Can you bring the gazebos? Can you bring the generators? And can you gather all this stuff for me and bring some firewood? And he's like, yeah, of course. And I was like, oh, I don't need to change him. I just need to invite him into my world without expectation and give him a role to play that he feels capable of stepping into. He stepped in, we had power the whole time. We had firewood. We had a bunch of gazebos and he got to come and witness the work that I do without me needing to force it down his throat.
Yeah.
So that invitation was like, hey dad, I'd really love for you to come. There was no expectation. If you couldn't have come, I could have rang 30 other men that I have in my circle that would gladly come and, man the barbecue. But in that invitation, it was appropriately wrapped up in giving him a meaningful role in it, which I think a lot of times when we're working with different generations of men in our lives or men that we may not see, that may not see the world we do, see the world the way that we do. It's like, how do I actually bring them in, give them a meaningful role? And just by osmosis, they're going to experience something different than they ever have. And that was like, I thought back, I was like, oh, when I worked at the health food store, no one told me really to be healthy. They kind of just pointed me in the right direction. Like, hey, come and see this. This is how you cook this, or this is how I would do this. And just by being there, I got healthier. It wasn't like I had to go on a health kick. It was just like, oh, most men learn by being in an environment that is, conducive and doesn't need to change them, which is kind of my kind of shtick with men's work. It's like, just come. You don't have to change. You don't have to do any of the processes. Just come and be, come and watch if you want.
Yeah. That's the shit, man. Because, we learn by like Callan said earlier about Paul. Like, we learn from strong males who have got their shit together. Like, I don't care what's coming out of your mouth if you're not living it, or being honest, then it's like, well, I'm not going to listen.
Yeah, dude. That makes me think about my PE. Like, I don't know if you guys like I think about I'm very always in some form of self-inquiry, but I look back at my PE teacher. Like, I wanted to be a PE teacher when I grew up. That was my thing. I want to be in sport and in move. Like, everything was about being in my body. And in our year 12, like, this is our final year of PE, and we're meant to be learning shit. Every Friday we would have one of us would bring in a dessert, and we just pig out in a PE class. And he was fat, inflamed, unhealthy, just a slob, dude. Like, I got no judgment, but like, he was not living the information he was teaching. And I think that is a big part of the education that young men get, is like, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. And it completely conflicts.
It's everything.
Dude, and that's kind of my thing, is like, I want to redefine this. Yeah. Similar to what seeing you guys do, like redefining guys and helping them understand what's important for you to be able to really optimize your life, so you can. It's not about like getting more. It's just about actually enjoying the full range of your power.
Yeah, and it's important. It's like even with working out, it's like I don't skip workouts because I don't need to post it. I don't need to do anything. But it's like, for me personally, I'm like, I want to be living what I'm preaching. Yeah. Like, the programs I give to people aren't always the most tech. They're the stuff that I do. And I know that, and that feels good for me. So it's like, you just got to make sure that you're authentic in yourself. Like, when Callan teaches, he teaches stuff that he's done hundreds of times on himself, you know what I mean? And it's like, because he knows it. But people feel that. They don't need you to say it to them. They feel it. Yeah. And that's what I think. Like, I think that's why a lot of this stuff's going well for us, is because it's like, we're not trying to hide anything. And the same with your stuff as well. I can see that. It's like, people really resonate, and they're dying for that, because we live in a world where most people are still in the child archetype and haven't grown past that.
Yeah, man. And I think a lot of people have been given the information without the embodiment, which is without the rite of passage. So, you could know that information. Hey, okay, you need to shift your body weight onto your left foot slightly, and whatever I don't know shit about biomechanics. But anyway,
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm trying. But essentially, you could tell someone to do that from just reading it in a book without actually going and putting yourself through the rite, which is the ritual of actually learning it and feeling it. So you can know it, you can feel it, and then you can be it. Yeah. And a lot of people are just speaking from like the shoulders up. Guys go and do, one of the sort of the big things on the Gold Coast was personal development. Do the NLP, do the breakthrough transformation, get this certification in 2 weeks. More. Yeah. And what I saw was all these people come out of that selling 5, 10K packages, maxing out, I've just made a 50K month, and it's urgent. And it's about getting somewhere. It's like, we're going to the next level. We're going to multi-million, boom. And I've had so many guys come and sit in circle, or come and say, hey bro, let's go sit for 2 hours in nature. And we go and sit, and we just come back to like a form of stasis, like come back to like your natural rhythm. Yeah. And they're like, oh fuck, I haven't been feeling. I've just been like projecting and creating my aligned state with this, mindset shift. And it's like, I'm all for it, but also like take time to bring it down into the body. And I think that's like for anything worth its salt takes time, like to build.
Yeah, well, you look at like your intuition and your soul guidance. So like you've had an inner knowing, right? That to get into all of this men's work, you've had an inner knowing. Yeah, well, that's actually your soul guiding you, and you're listening quite clearly. But the thing is, like, what I'm learning now is like, if you want to be a spiritual person, you need to have a connection to self and soul. And that is yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can feel what it feels like to connect to your true purpose and your soul, you get such clear, dude, some weird shit's happening right now with me, just learning how to connect to my soul. Like I'm starting, this will sound fucking out there, but I'm starting to feel, even if I sleep with the PowerPoints on, I don't have as good a sleep. I'm starting to feel things like that. So I'm getting all these little subtle energy things happening in my life. And that's all because of like learning tarot and learning how to connect to soul and stuff like that. But really what I've thought about is like that's how you know where you're clearly going in life. So you can ask.
Yeah.
It's like, why not ask? And like, it's like, you're talking about how you know when you're studying the body and you go, that's fucking it. That's right.
Yeah.
That feeling is always there and you can tap into it. And it's like, should I have this coffee? No. Most of the time we don't want to listen, but like, but isn't that cool? I just find it's fucking amazing. And that's how that's spirituality.
Bro, I did. Do you guys know Adam Kavanagh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been on
Had him
here.
on
Oh, you've had him
bro.
on. Yeah. So I did.
He's the man.
Dude, before, big part of me stepping into any new season of life, I go through, I ensure I step into a rite of passage to prepare me for the actual real thing.
Yeah.
And I went and did 10 days up north with him in the Gulf.
Oh, you did that?
So yeah,
wow.
I did it. And I'm from the country, so I've been pig shooting and I've done that stuff, and I rejected it. I was really against it. And I went vegetarian and I fucking did all that shit. Respect to all that path, but I did it because Meg was doing it, and I was very much about doing it because Meg thought it was good, and I was very much doing it because it was the right thing to do. And I went and did that with him, man. We were on the land for 10 days. All we did was drink water and eat what we caught.
Cool.
That was it.
How much food you have?
Oh, dude, we did pretty well. I don't want to talk, but we were lucky enough. Like we caught a whole heap of catfish, and we're just chucking them on the fire, eating them, just pulling them apart and eating them. Caught mangrove jack, barramundi. We were eating those, and we caught a couple of pigs. So I got real obsessed with running, and I read Born to Run, and I heard about this tribe over in Africa that do the running, hunting. So I was like, I didn't take a bow or anything. I said, bro, I just want to run after animals until I catch them.
Yeah.
So we caught a couple of pigs, and then we caught a couple of like Mickey bulls, the small sort of, not tiny calves, but like the teenage bulls.
Yeah.
So we were like tackling them in the bush, and so we did all right. We ended up with a bit of food, but what I found was like being away from, and I didn't have my phone on or anything the only thing we did was hop in the car and drive. But we're away from any kind of cell phone reception or electricity for 10 days. And no toilets, just a swag. So the sun would go down, we'd light a fire, eat, and then go to bed. And then we'd wake up when the sun came
Holy
up.
shit, that'd be healing.
And oh man, and all I did was eat a bit of meat. We ate a bit of bush tucker, some like gum that come off this tree, and a few different seeds and stuff, and drank water. And like after that 10 days, I left and I started crying. I was like, I was grieving. It was almost like I was being ripped away from my home. My soul was like, don't go back. Do not go back, man. Like it's not worth it.
Fuck.
Like you're too happy here.
That's powerful.
Oh man, I could have stayed there. I could have rang Meg and said, come up or don't, but I could have stayed there with a knife and a billy and a swag. And I was like, this is like sleeping on the earth is I think underrated. Like sleeping on a swag on the earth is like one of the most powerful things, I think, to like lay on the actual earth instead of concrete and then carpet and then all these things. So I then went and did like that trip with Adam. If anyone ever gets a chance to spend some time with him, he is a fucking hoot. He is so much fun.
Yeah. We're gonna do it next year.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
Yeah.
It connects you back to your food. You know, we caught a bull, and I was hooting and hollering. I was like, yeah. And I was like, where's the knife? He's like, no, not yet.
Yeah.
And I had to go and sharpen the knife and wait for the actual animal to calm down because it had cortisol or something running through and which sort of spoils the meat if you kill it in the moment.
Yeah.
So I had to sharpen a knife for like 20 minutes, and like it all started to hit me. I'm like, I'm about to go and kill I'm about to kill this animal. I'm about to kill something. Fuck.
Yeah.
And I had to like cut a little hole in its skin and then like plunge the knife into its chest and stab the heart and blood everywhere and watch its like life leave its eyes and soul leave the body. And like, you know, that was a very spiritually enhanced experience and healing for me. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna fuck around with shitty meat anymore.
Yeah.
Not that I had been, but I'd been a little lazy here and there.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you can't.
It's a life.
Yeah, that's a life.
Yeah.
Man. And then I did another men's retreat, and I got to like contemplate my death. And I had to draw an image when I thought of death. And I drew this picture of a river and trees and a whole heap of swags and a fire. And I drew my childhood holiday. And I was like, like nature is it. Nature is it for me. Like that's where we belong. As close as, and I'm not saying that we can't, like, you know, it's great to have all this technology and to utilize it and to use it. But if we become kind of consumed by it and we don't actually regulate or go back and like earth and be with the elements and be with the seasons and be with the songs of the mountains and the wisdom of the trees, and the messages from the animals, like we're limiting, we're having to filter everything through our own creations, which is almost like creating our own God complex. Whereas nature really shows you that you're a part of everything. And that there's a greater force moving things.
So true, eh? That's what I think. Tai Chi is just like something that I have to do to. Fuck, if I don't do it, I just am a mess.
Yeah.
Hunting culture's changing a bit, eh? Like when we were younger, you think about hunters as like piggers and 4X piss.
Dude,
heads,
it was.
you know? That's the way you think of it.
Dude,
But now it's shifting,
Dude, the hunting culture was wild because I remember like just shooting a kangaroo. And like I shot it and it just hit it in the back, and it paralyzed it, and we just drove off. And I was like, fuck. And I remember my dad bought me a rifle when I was 12, and I shot a bird and killed it, and I was like, what? Why did we do that? And I got really and I became super conflicted. And I think, you know, my dad is an incredible man and did his best, but I don't think he had the words to communicate what was going on or why we were doing what we were doing. And through, you know, conversations we've had now and this, you know, this commonality of like we both love nature and we love hunting and we love being out in the world, like we're now beginning to understand, and I've got the vocabulary and he's got all the equipment.
Yeah.
So we're learning how to sort of support each other, and I think that's part of it, man. Like we need each other to calibrate and to create more consciousness around, especially things like hunting, or even just coffee. You know, these things can become. We can distort them, and we can take advantage of these things that can be sacred if we choose.
I know. Yeah, and even tapping into the way, like, this will sound weird, but I had a butter caramel pecan from Loco Love yesterday.
Oh.
And dude, they're fucking amazing. But I was like, all right, this whole drive home, I'm going to take a bite and I'm going to try and just be as conscious as I can with the flavors going down. Dude. And I was like, fuck, this has never tasted better. Like, if you're actually just present with what you're eating.
A green apple in the cleanse,
Dude, I know.
Green apple in the cleanse is like, whoa, this is, God made this thing.
I know,
like, God made my lolly, and I wasn't happy with this beforehand. Like,
yeah.
Everything tastes like lollies, right? Like that after Adam's trip, I had honey. And I just like had a spoonful of honey, and it felt like a full body orgasm.
Liquid gold, dude.
Dude, it felt like I was having a tantric experience with honey.
It's so funny. I was on ChatGPT last night researching the blood glucose response of honey versus like white sugar and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's slower and whatnot, but it also has like all these vitamins, minerals, enzymes and shit. And I was like, man, what the fuck are we doing at using anything but for sugar?
know.
Like, it's got all this other shit, and we're just using, it's like, how can I describe
It's
it?
like
It's like a
slow
protein
release.
shake to a steak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get the protein, you're going to get the sugar from the carbs, but like the steak also has the B12, iron, plus whatever magic is in it that you can't quantify.
Yeah.
That helps you digest it. And also has the nutrients in it that it takes from you to digest it in it. So you're not at a deficit compared to having, say, protein. Who knows what else that's taking out of you to process it. Even like the more, like even things like, you know, NAC?
Yeah.
NAC
What
like
is that?
NAC's a precursor to glutathione, right?
Okay.
And it has really good results for people, I'm sure, in acute settings, right? But I'm like, okay, but it's still just a white powder that's isolated, right? What else is it doing? And I like going on like Reddit forums and like, I know that's anecdotal, but like I like checking.
It's sick.
And people are like, what was your experience with NAC? And this person was like, yeah, I had it. And then my zinc levels like completely like plummeted. Like, you know, I had all this shit happen to me. And apparently that's sort of a thing. Like, it must use zinc to use that, right?
Yeah.
So if someone happened to be low on zinc and they're using that, and instead of saying, okay, if I eat, I don't know what the fuck has it, let's say the oyster, it's full of zinc and this, so you're not going to be at a deficit. So there's so many things that,
I'm so glad you brought
back
this
to
up.
nature.
Because I thought about this morning, man. I thought about like how like we did all that testing and stuff last year, and some of it was really good, but something deep inside me just tells me to eat whole foods.
Yeah.
Like when I had honey the other day, I asked my soul, I was like, should I have honey or should I have xylitol? And I got a clear yes for honey. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to do this with all my foods for one. But I was like, it just was like the craziest yes feeling of honey. And I'm like, why can't we do that with all our foods? And then I don't, with vitamins and things like that, I do not get a yes. Like,
Yeah.
I
And
just
maybe you
feel
will.
like,
Maybe you will for one thing.
yeah.
When you need it.
Well,
you know?
100. Well, that's a lie. Yeah, I do. I get it for magnesium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I need magnesium.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff, because there's a lot of it, you know,
There's
it's
so
like
many.
it's almost like we're too smart for our own good.
Remember when Paul spoke about glutathione? Have you heard him speak about that?
No.
So glutathione is, well, they have the NSC to make glutathione, which is the main sort of whatever you want to call them. Is it oxidant free radical, whatever, same shit. But anyway, and he goes, I was so against it. And then his missus was like, oh, just like, you know, there's some good stuff in this, try this. And he goes, so I started having it, and he goes, I literally watched the mole on my face disappear.
That's right. Yeah.
Over 2 weeks of,
Yeah.
and goes, so it had its role in that state, and maybe showed me I was on the bag too much, which on the smoke bag, not the cocaine bag. Because that's where he said that's where that mole thing come from, like a skin thing, and he goes, I literally watched it disappear.
Oh, I thought it was because he smoked mugwort. He put mugwort in his or mullein in his bag, and that's what got rid of it. But I don't know. Maybe
I remember. I think I pretty clearly it was glutathione. I remember him saying that. Yeah,
cool. That's good to know.
So
I've got a few spots coming up myself.
Yeah, there's this like these little aspects, and I want to touch on what you said before, man. How when you were hunting, how when you ate dinner and then went to bed. What time do you reckon you were falling asleep?
Yeah.
Dude, we were in bed at like 6:30.
Yeah, and it was just sleep.
And like, but we'd lay
Knackered?
there, and I just look at the stars, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I get the ocean and I get the coastal living, man. But dude,
fuck,
you
the
get out
stars are
into
wild.
the flat country where there's no mountains and no there's something about for me, because I come from flat country out in a place called Weewar, inland New South Wales.
Amazing.
I love like the full 180 degree kind of holy shit. So, but we're in bed at like 6:30, man.
Yeah.
We'd have a steak. Literally, we were eating. Well, we ate the steak, the heart, we ate everything. Yeah, it was great. I loved eating the whole animal, and I realized I hadn't been eating everything. I'd just been eating rump steak or rib steak. I was like, oh, cool. There's all this other stuff I can start to consume.
Man, that's cool. When I was driving on the Nullarbor, I remember I was just like had that feeling too, where you're just like, holy shit, man, we are so small, and it's like 180 degrees full of stars that fall off the horizon.
Totally. Yeah.
It's like I'd never seen that before, and I saw something in the sky, like a comet, like a green comet, and I was like, man, this is one of the most profound experiences I've ever had.
Bro, like we had one night, so there was a night where we ate the heart of the cow, and we were like, we set up the altar, and we lit the fire and brought out the rattle, and I worked with the mesa from Peru, so we set it all up, man. And you know, Adam's pretty blokey, so I'm like super spiritual, so he's bringing like so we're sort of meeting in the middle here.
Yeah.
And we're giving each other kind of what we're sort of complementing each other really beautifully. And we set up the pan, we have the heart sitting there, and we shake the hands, and I was just singing just a song, just a hey Anna, hey. Hey Anna, hey, hey Anna, hey Anna, hey Anna, hey Anna, singing, and like close my eyes, bro, and these wild brumbies, like horses, started circling around us,
way.
dude, and it was like, I felt like I was in like it felt very Native American or I don't know. There's this crazy, and these wild horses were just whinnying and just like neighing and circling us, and I just stopped and we just. And they just ran off.
No way.
And then we ate the heart of the cow.
Wow.
Right? And we were both just sitting there in silence. And we ate it, put the fire out, and went to bed. And we were just like, what the fuck just happened, man? And I think that's
special.
I think a lot of men are missing out on spiritual experiences because they haven't been told that like this, you know, go out and adventure, go out and do these things, invest your, like that cost me a lot, like a decent amount of money to go and do. But it was priceless. A lot of men don't realize that, you know, these spiritual experiences come from investing in something that you don't fully know what's going to happen. And for me, I was lucky enough to have that specific experience amongst many others. But it only happened because I said, I want to learn how to hunt more appropriately. And I want to go and do this because I'm getting married and I feel like I need to go and put myself through an initiation like that will allow me to really show up and like choose my woman. And
Powerful.
yeah. But that eating at 6 o'clock and then going to bed at 7:30, bro.
Yeah. Well, I just think like insomnia wouldn't exist if you did that, right? It'd be hard to stay awake. And also like people think their bedtime is like 10 and shit's good. And I know there's things we've heard about hormones and that, but I believe it's earlier. I believe like when the sun goes down, because I remember when I was out in WA, I went to Karajini and I realized, fuck, 8 o'clock, you're not even staying. There's no way you could stay past it.
Nah.
It's just like you get so tired because there's no light and just starlight and your body makes you sleep. Beautiful. But not only that is that then you can eat breakfast. Because a lot of people are eating dinner later and thinking they're not a breakfast person, but they're literally just eating dinner later than they probably would have in nature, because nature would have been like 5 o'clock or some shit.
That makes so much sense. I've never thought of that.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
While the sun's still rolling, because, you know, then that time from food is different.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. I reckon that's like spot on. Because I've always kind of thought that too. It's like, why are we going, when we go camping, we go to sleep when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
Dinners, you need to eat
you
dinner
have a
while
fire for an hour max. Like,
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to fucking sit
and
around.
there's probably still a little bit of light while you're eating dinner.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like you would have wanted to make the fire while there's still light, and then it's
Yeah.
cooking, and then you're eating, and then you got time for your whole digestive system, the rest,
That's
and you're ready to go.
Literally, that's what we like over the weekend. We do a ceremony. We sort of start in the morning and finish around sort of 4. And yeah, man, like we started to light the fire, and then the sun's going down, and the meat's on the barbecue, and the potatoes are in the fire, and the soup's cooking, and then we're eating, and the light's dwindling, and we've got the campfire so we can see our food. We eat, and then we're finished, and we sort of do a check-in. We have a bit of a laugh, tell some stories, and it's like, well, off to bed. And then I'm looking, and it's like 7:42, and I'm like, what the? Like,
That's so good,
dude,
man.
like I think that is underrated, and I think it's undervalued by a lot of people. And that's why, you know, with the gathering of men, everything's camping. And people are like, oh, you know, it'd be good to have cabins. I'm like, it would, and it would take you away. It'd create one layer of separation from nature. And last year we got all the feedback forms, and the guys were like, well, I was like, what was your favorite part of the gathering? And a lot of guys said, oh, when we did the 2-hour sit by ourselves in nature. I'm like, that's not, what about all the other stuff that I prepared for you guys,
fully,
you motherfuckers? But yeah, man, like nature is such I believe it's so undervalued as a modality. Like nature has all of the tools.
Fucking oath, man.
You got a rock, you want to, like, for some reason, man, when a guy sees a big rock, you just want to lift it and move it. And you start doing weight training, you know, going and collecting firewood. You're moving, and naturally we're creating naturally it occurs.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of like, and even when you're walking on those rocks, the fascia on the bottom of your feet are getting hydrated. The little instabilities, you know what I mean? By like, you take a step and you got to balance on things, right?
Yeah,
that isn't happening in most people's life. For sometimes years, they don't have. There's literally no instability, and that instability is a falling reflex that wakes up. That's why they use it in rehab, instability, because it wakes up muscles, because the body doesn't want to fall. Yeah. So things like the multifidus and muscles in the lower back and all these little hip stabilizers, you don't have to do that in the gym. You can do it when you're fucking walking around in life. But on concrete, you're not going to get that.
Nah, man. I did a business. Sorry, I tell a lot of stories, but that's how I communicate. I did a business thing down in Melbourne, and we did a visualization of like the crossroads, and the one way was the wild path, the path of your soul. And the other way was, it slowly started to get concreted, and then the barriers came up, and then the street, the blue light came over, and everything started to sanitize. And I went down that, and I was like, let me go down that path and see what's there. And I got to the end of my life, and I was in the casket, and my son stood up, my children stood up, and they're like, they didn't have anything to say about me other than, yeah, he was a good man. He did well. Like, he looked after us, but they didn't have my blood wasn't running through them. Like, they didn't have the lineage, the story of they didn't have the name. Like, I didn't grow into my name. And I was in this conference room. I was crying and just bawling for the life not lived. And then when I came back. I said, no, let's go back to that crossroads. And I walked down the wild path of the soul, and it was filled with crazy creatures and these huge boulders and grass and sharp thorns and bristles. And I was dancing through it, and I was moving as if I was a wild animal. And I had the bow, and I had the drum, and I had the rattle, and I had the wild outfit. And I was a spiritual warrior. And at the end of my and I wasn't in a casket. I was like laying on a bed of grass. and my body was there, and all my sacred artistry tools were with me, and they were about to send me to the beaches of stars where my true work as an ancestor would begin. And my son was up there, and he was just banging the drum, singing the song of our people.
Sick.
And I'm just like crying, and I could feel myself like growing into the next stage of my life, which I think is such a powerful thing when we come to legacy. It's not about the money that you leave your children. It's not about that. But it's like, can you leave the song of your people, the song of your heart in your children? So when they forget who they are, they come back. They have a song to come back to. They have a story to come back to. And that's why storytelling is such a big part of men's work for me, because we need stories to inspire us to go to choose the wild path. Otherwise, we're just going to choose comfort because it makes more sense.
Yeah, dude. And it's like I'm going through myth at the moment, and that's been really, really interesting. But yeah, that rings so true, because my dad left me that. He left me he did a bunch of work, and he left it to me, and I know where I need to go now. And it's been like a journey into that, because I could see it in him. I'm like, Dad, you're obviously the most spiritual guy I know. Like, why are you fucking hiding? You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not going to fucking hide anymore. So now I'm doing that, and that's so true. It's like, I
think
and same with your dad, eh?
Yeah, for sure. It's like what you said then is that I reckon that's the biggest fear, is a life not lived. And because I look at also where we are. We're sitting here on the Sunshine Coast we got a fucking good life. Everyone here in Southeast Queensland has a good life.
Oh yeah, we're blessed, man.
We're blessed. We got opportunity that if we want, we can create a lot of money and go travel the world and do whatever the fuck you want. And everyone here has that opportunity. We're not in some Palestine or some shit.
Yeah, dude. We're fucking,
you know? So we got such a life to be lived from just being able to be here. And I think that's the fear of, at the same time, it's so comfortable that you can just do fuck all too, you know?
That's the paradox. Hey, like we've got, because it's so good, we can miss out on the grittiness of the wild path. We can almost sanitize ourselves.
Yeah.
With like, oh man, like, oh dude, I forgot to get milk. Oh, we can go down to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Or you know, like, or to be able to eat. I don't know about you, but like eating the same fruit all year round feels wrong.
Yeah.
Like there's something about eating oranges after the first frost. You know, like oranges, and my family has.
Yeah. Well, winter shouldn't.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like learning.
And intuition will tell you that, man. Intuition will make you not
does.
want sugar really in winter once you have slow cooks for a reason. It's like
Yeah.
in summer, it's like, fuck, yesterday, I know we're in winter now actually, but yesterday I looked at a kiwi fruit and I was like, fuck, my body wants that. It made me look at it twice, like my body wants that. And it's because I just finished jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't want 5 of them, you know? Yeah, it just wanted 1.
Yeah,
like,
man.
yeah, and we're blessed, like some berries and whatnot. But people, it's the seasons. The seasons for
the
everything.
seasons for life, man. It's like, you know, like summer is your child to thing, and then you got autumn, winter, no, autumn, spring, winter, or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, and that's winter. What would it be? So it'd be.
Well, Paul breaks it down into the day, 24-hour season, right? So he goes, you wake up and it's spring, I believe.
Yep.
So, you know, it's obviously the first frost on the thing, you know, and then or the dew, I should say. And then summer, in the middle of the day, you're going hard, you're getting all your fucking work done, all that sort of thing. And then autumn is starting to wind down a little bit and reflect on the day and make sure it's sort of all got done. And then winter is yin.
Yeah.
And it's time. And that's what I mean. He doesn't work at night. You know what I mean? He rebuilds energy at night. But as long as the day was functional throughout the day, that's still a lot of work that most people aren't doing.
And he went over the same thing for your whole life the other day, and I was like, fuck, that's cool, man. Because it's like, feels like now I'm about to turn 35 and I'm like, I'm going into quite a stage. A more knowledgeable stage where it's like, I just want to figure out what's inside me, you know, more so than show everything and stuff, which is hard because you run a fucking business and you want to be on Instagram and all that shit too. But it's like, you got to find the balance.
Yeah, man. I think like the cycles of manhood, like women have a 28-day cycle. They bleed every 28 days, or that's the standard.
Yeah.
So they know they've got us. They've got us an inbuilt system.
Yeah.
We do as well, but because society tells us that we're linear and we've got to continue to achieve and take the next step, climb the ladder. Everything's about like ascension. There's not actually a circle.
Yeah.
So for me, the most powerful technology, which is found across all ancient cultures, is the circle, which is the cycle, and the 4 directions, or the 4 elements, or the 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Everything comes back to the circle, and how we can honor the cycle, whether it's 24 hours, whether it's 12 months, or it should be 13 months. You know, the circle has 13 points because it's actually a spiral. There's so many things that when we start to investigate, we see ourselves as this sort of ongoing cyclical experience, not necessarily this like, all right, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. It's no, we come back. And that's the whole point of initiatory experiences, man. Like you're turning 35. It feels like you guys have been building, an incredible brand and incredible impact. And it's like, the next stage of your life might be like peeking around the corner, like, hey, bro, come on. The next thing is ready for you guys. And that for me was huge at like 30. I'm 34 now, but it was like, okay, bro, if you're really going to fucking be a coach and do this men's work thing, like the next 10 years is important for you to go all in. And if at the end of those 10 years you're broke and you're 400 grand in debt and you got nothing, then, okay, you're 40, you've got a couple of kids, maybe go and get the job. But don't deny yourself the opportunity to at least attempt to build a kingdom. And Alison Armstrong speaks about that, the cycles of, the knight, the prince, the king, and then the wise elder. And like that's, I think a lot of people get into the coaching or they get into this, they think they're going to be a wise elder and everyone's just going to come to them for counsel. Nah, man, you've got to be a prince. You've got to like fumble your way through the awkward social media posts, the lives, and learn how to, you've got to earn your stripes.
Yeah, there was a story, back to Spirit Medium again, but he talked a story of Majid the other day, and it's about this guy who kind of goes through life, and at the end of his life, and he's done all this crazy shit, like jumped in a river and thought he was going to die and blah, blah, blah. Everyone just started coming to him. Yep. Because he was a wise elder and he'd lived a lot of experience and it wasn't fake. It was like, it was his journey. And then he goes, well, they're like, how'd you get so enlightened? And he goes, well, I fell in the river here and then I went here and then I made kelps for this and then I gave all my money away. And then I was like, I really resonated with that story and being like, okay, well, enjoy the journey. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And you will be provided for too. It's like, if you know where you're going, you will be provided for. Yeah.
One of the things that we teach, or that I really instill in our work, is embodied faith, trusting in something greater than what you currently believe you are. And like a lot of men don't realize that by living in their mind, they create this God complex that I know everything, and if I don't know it, it doesn't exist. So it cuts them off from spirit, cuts them off from faith. Spirit does live in here, like it comes through the body, and that for me is like where stories are so important because they enchant us. Talking about myth, I've been just devouring Michael Mead's stuff at the moment. I don't know if you know him. He's fucking phenomenal. And you'll have to get a bro Leon Cossa. Do you know Leon?
No.
He's a mytho-poetic like storyteller.
Cool.
And he'll blow your mind.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
I love stories, man.
And that's a big part of how we enchant ourselves into this belief of something greater than ourselves, because otherwise we'll just do what we've always done. And we won't ever go on adventures. We won't ever go and find these rivers to fall in or these mountains to, learn, climb to the top of a mountain and you sit there like maybe a song will come, maybe a word, maybe that's where we've got to go and find these sacred places that are calling us so we can receive something deeper. That's another beautiful guy, Joshua Shree. He has the Emerald podcast. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's another incredible storyteller. He's like, go and find these places where your soul wants to sing to the great she, the great mystery. It's like, it might be the corner of it might be a corner of a creek. It might be the top of a mountain. It might be it might be in the middle of a field, but go and sit there and find these places where your soul is guiding you to sing to the great mystery, which is really just to dance with the unknown, which is kind of like, because everything feels so, I guess, accomplished. The world has been mapped out. We know all of the different, we've got microscopes that can see everything. We've got, the big telescopes that can see everything. There's not a lot of space left to explore, we think. But I guarantee you, if you go for a walk down a creek, you're going to find these beautiful little spots, or maybe a tree. I remember on a trip down in Bunu Bunu National Park out near Tenterfield, I was sitting there and we did a beautiful mushroom journey. And I was sitting there, I was looking at this stone. I was like, why don't you move? And I'm having a conversation with this beautiful piece of stone, this beautiful rock. And this rock was just like, you know what? When you find somewhere better for me to go, then I'll move. And I was thinking, far out, man. Like, it's like, I'm so fixated on always getting somewhere that I'm not actually stopping and being like, is there anywhere better than here? Actually, no.
Yeah, that's true. That's deep, dude.
That's and that's like that. Like, I'm sitting there talking to a rock, and it's like, people can call that crazy, but to me, that's like that's my child. That's my inner child that was obsessed with rocks and sticks, and creeks and fire. Like, it's your child will tell you what's true because they're the ones that, you know, don't have the filter of the common world that's telling us to see everything through a screen or through a test or through these things. And I think those, you know, I use screens and, you know, recently had done a gut test and I'm getting involved with all this stuff. There's value in it. But if we only ever see life through that and we don't balance it with nature and we harmonize these two worlds that we have, like the very real societal world and the very real like animistic natural world, if we're not balancing those, then we're just creating disharmony.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's spot on.
Yeah.
What an amazing potty, eh?
Yeah, otherwise AI will be able. We have this joke that we want to do a skit where AI becomes our god, our guru.
Yes.
And just like ChatGPT
Gotta
becomes
do
like,
that, eh?
I know, it'd be so funny.
It'd be
like,
so good.
Yeah.
Somehow we've got to figure out how to make that that classic. But yeah, integrating that shit, of course.
Yeah,
That's how
man.
fucking, you know what I used it for the other day? I bought something online and I went to go buy it and I went to AI and go, is there any discount codes for this? And it gave me one. I saved like $15.
Dude, yeah, like you're
Wow.
utilizing a tool, right?
Yeah.
We're not. Yeah, that's because I was like, fuck ChatGPT. Everything's got to be written, drawn in through. And I was like, dude, what if you just ask for the three? You know, what if you just research through ChatGPT? You use Google. Stop being the old cranky dude that doesn't want to evolve.
Yeah.
And like I was punching out, I was getting all of this incredible information around like the current stats and issues and symptoms of some of the bigger issues that men are facing across Australia. And I was like, oh, I can now create my whole pitch deck.
Yeah.
And I can then write the heartfelt message at the start and give them a piece of me.
Yeah.
But then I can actually formulate something that's digestible, not just waffle of me just, you know, poetically trying to dance across the page. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is grounded. I'm
Yeah,
using
yeah.
this
Yeah, that's
in a healthy way. So I'm back on team ChatGPT. I was like sort of fuck it, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use it as a tool.
Yeah.
Just like everything else.
No, we got a phone, you know, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's a tool.
exactly, it's integrated. Like it's coming. It's coming
Yeah.
whether we like it or not.
Yeah,
It's that
100%.
next step of evolution of like, man, education, it's going to be nuts for education. Like it's helping me a lot with Bodyworkers University in the
Yeah.
scheme of just finding little things about muscles and curiosities about it. And it tells me, but I also, lucky I got the awareness where I know where it's wrong. Like it's told me some things about the body and I'm like, nah, that wouldn't do that. That doesn't connect there. And it goes, oh, you're right. Actually, I'll correct my thing. I'm like, fuck, there could be some rookie that just believe it.
yeah.
That's one of my teachers, Jamita. She's phenomenal woman and incredible. Incredible keto. Incredible medicine woman, not kero. She has a saying that she says, she's like, you know, come and sit ceremony, but listen to yourself first and last. So listen to yourself first. Yes, ceremony. Okay, come to ceremony. Get whatever you need. And then when you finish ceremony, listen to yourself last. What am I taking with me? And it's like with ChatGPT, you know, it's going to be, but at times, you know, just check in. Stay connected. And I'm sure if you hadn't have done all the other work that you've done, bro, like, and you were just using ChatGPT, people could smell that a mile off. Like there's something.
I know.
Right, yeah.
I know. That's why we've got to do that skit, dude.
That's why, I know I feel good because I know it can't do my job. Like they can make it as smart as they want, but it fucking maybe one day, maybe not in my lifetime, but
that's audacity, bro. That's because you know yourself.
Yeah.
Like that shit's attractive, man.
Yeah.
Like I want to wrestle you now because I want to see if you do know your shit, bro.
Yeah, fully.
It's attractive and people want to be around that. And you know, I'm sure you guys have both got stories just as I do of, you know, the things that I've been through. But that's what, you know, eldership only comes because you've chosen to lean in and live a life and learn and through your own experience. And no one can take that from you either. No one can no one can take that part of you if you've like earned it.
yeah,
And that's been
spot
something.
on.
Yeah, that's something that
spot on.
I'm really like. People ask me, you know, where did you learn? I'm like, I learned it by going through it myself. Like I can't tell you what happens in a ceremony, and you then be able to go and actually, you know, teach that. Or I can't tell you what it's like. I did 100 Ks in running sandals on my 33rd birthday. I just ran it. It took me 24 hours. I said, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of trauma response, and I think I was running from shit.
Yeah.
There was a deep, but I was like, oh, like I now know what that's like, and I can understand what was going on for me at that time. It's like you can't take that from me because I chose to do it, and no one. And I think that audacity of like you going and doing the depth of your work and understanding, you know, your craft at the deepest level, it becomes
good.
invaluable, man.
It does
Yeah,
feel
you
good.
got to feel it to know it, eh? That's with soul connection. Like I didn't really get it. I connected kind of with my soul when I was 24 and I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
But then lately, as I've been doing it every day, I'm like starting to feel a lot more like what is a real connection? What's my ego? What's like what I want? I'm starting to feel it for the first time, and I'm like, holy shit! Like this is like riding a bike. Like the more you do it, the better you get at it. So like what you said, you got to feel it to know it, and that's the most important thing. People probably feel that from you, eh?
We just had a check course here on the weekend. They hired the venue for IMS1, and there was all these new guys doing the first. That's the first like check course in regards to like body. It doesn't go into the soul and that so much. It's just like, okay, this connects to that, and this is, you know, physio basically. And I could see all the boys, and we could see exactly where they're at because I was there. And I could see they're all looking for the answer. And how you said you got to feel it to know it. That's the advice I actually gave them. I go, make sure you guys like all these exercises, feel it. Like they're all choosing, what do I give for that and that? But I was like, do the exercise and feel it. Like I only give people exercises that I've done a lot, and I give people, I've made up a couple of exercises because I felt what it does.
Sure, yeah.
And there's even like a couple of YouTube. I'm like, I know I was taught this one, but I like this one better because when I did it, I felt like it turns on this better for me. So now I can teach it very well because I've done it in my own body. And that's it, man. Even when it comes to the rehab and physio shit, fuck, I see from, I can smell it from afar. Like when I see like say a specialist talking about something, I can know straight away. I was like, this cunt doesn't know what he's talking about.
For sure.
I know he knows all the words. He may have done 20 years of shit. But I still know
but he doesn't feel it. Eh?
He doesn't know. He doesn't feel it because he's not even in his body. He doesn't even know how to use his body. So how is he going to tell this person how to do it? And it's just so clear to me now. And I don't even know when the shift happened because it happened slowly but fast. Like when the shift happened to like being more confident with your job to not being as confident at the job, like. I think it happened just with when do you reckon that happened?
Well, for you, like it was an interesting case, man, because it was like you were just like confident from the get-go. Like whereas I was a lot slower. Like I feel like you were pretty confident from the get-go. Like maybe it's different inside yourself, but from outside, from my opinion, it looked like you were just like the man straight up. Whereas like I couldn't even talk to the camera. Like I was just like fucking afraid. I could do funny all day because that's really just masking all my other shit. But you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think maybe
maybe it was different inside at the start. But no, I think I was so into the check that I thought it was like it is like I thought, oh yeah, this is it. And then it went back a little bit like, oh, do I like when someone doesn't get better, all of a sudden everyone gets better. You get one person that doesn't, you're like, fuck, am I a fraud? But then you reflect on that and then you go and learn and you improve from it. And then it comes back. And then now I realize, oh, I don't know. There's heaps I don't know. And I think what's gold is when I have a theory and I tell someone something, I go, this could be it. I could be wrong though.
There's a humility in what you do, bro, which I love. And I think that's the common ground for when people come together and they feel like when leaders come together and they see like there's a level of respect there because they can see like, oh, this guy's still, I get the feeling that you're going to want to learn and grow and evolve for the rest of your life. You're still got that student, like that vibrancy.
Student,
So there's a humility from staying in the student mindset. And, you know, I've been to just as many retreats this year as a participant as I have ran. And I've had some of the biggest breakthroughs in rooms that I didn't want to have them in. My ego was like, you're better than this. But the truth was like, I needed to be here. I needed this. My soul was like, get in here and learn from these people. And I think that can be such a, that then gives me I think, you know, you develop an authority because you've been so deeply, I call it embodied leadership. It's when you've developed authority in a field that you really have deeply immersed yourself in and you're connected to your authentic self. And you bring authenticity and authority together and you've got that embodiment where like, it's undeniable. And that's where you can be more audacious with your words and your delivery of your message because you're comfortable in knowing that if I am wrong, I'm going to go and learn. And I've had the same thing where guys have come and worked with me and they should have gotten better results, but they didn't. And I have to look at that and I'm like, okay, cool. And I've had guys come and work with me and halfway through I'm like, actually, you know what? I shouldn't have sold you into this program. Here's a refund. Bro, I'm the wrong guy for you. That was ego. I've had to do that and it's you know, I needed that money and I was like, but if I use that money, it's not true.
No, it's not true.
And I was like, hey, bro, who you actually need to work with, go and work with my bro, Lindsay. You need somatic psychotherapy. Like go and actually, that's not me. And I've done that. And like that guy, you know, one guy actually messaged me. He's like, yo, bro, not only do I thank you, but my whole entire fucking family thanks you, bro, because I would have lost them if you hadn't have had the honest conversation with yourself and then, you know, recalibrated to the truth. And that's, I think that, you know, the ability to be wrong and own your mistakes is something that, and then want to still stay in the game, not use that as like, oh, I'm now wrong and I can't be that anymore. It's like, oh, okay, I got something wrong. I'm human. I made a mistake. Let me go and learn. Maybe I do need to go and get more trauma informed. Maybe I do need to understand somatic vocabulary a little more. Yeah, maybe I don't need to have a coach right now. Maybe I need to go and do a course and learn this. Maybe I need to do a gut cleanse.
Maybe I just need to go and sit in nature.
Maybe I just need to go and sit in nature for 10 days. So I think that's yeah, man. I feel that from you guys, and that's why I reached out. I was like, these guys are playing the long game, and they're not rushing.
Nah.
You know, there's nowhere to get to.
We're enjoying the journey, man. Like it's all about the journey, and it's been so fucking fun.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
nuts.
so fun.
It's
and
so fun.
We get to chat. Like the other day, I sat with myself. I'm like, do I love the podcast? Because like sometimes it was starting to feel like a little bit of a chore.
Yep.
And I just reconnected with it, man. I'm like, I get to go and speak to these amazing people. It's therapy. It's free therapy. It's sick. Like
It's always good in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's like, oh, I got to be somewhere. But you're like, that's life. It's
Yeah,
not all-
for sure.
Like,
but
and-
I shifted that.
Yeah.
And it felt really good because I was like, yeah, I know it's like sometimes it can feel like that, but I was like, I don't know what I shifted, but it was like, no, I get to go do it. Like it's a blessing.
How's
hey?
this morning, man? I went to the Real Grocer and because I had the tie last night, that was in my head. And I felt just a little bit like, you know, tired. It's raining. I got out of the car. And as I got out of the car walking near the grocer, it was like I said, it was raining on me. No, there was an old lady walking up, but I had like just this like a frown in my face for no reason. And I was like, and then I witnessed it and I was like, oh, this is, I'll have an energy now with me right now.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I did the Tony Robbins and just switched it. It even like loosened my brow and just said, oh no, I'm happy. Life's good, you know? And then like walked past this lady and just like smiled and she smiled back and that instead of
Yeah.
like just
How
walking
great's
past and
that?
getting on to do my thing. And I was like, fuck, that's it, man. That's the work. Like,
Yeah.
that's life. Because now other people will be more attracted to say, hey, how's your day? Rah, rah. And all of a sudden my life is really good. But before, if I was the same man with the frown walking through, oh, it's all fucking, it's raining.
Yeah.
Wish it was sunny, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck, that's it. You just got to be almost sometimes fake it. And then it becomes you.
A smile can do a lot
Dude,
of things.
yeah, I would say like that. Like I would say that was faking it, and that was real. Like you were seeing life through a lens that was fake, and then you're like, hang on, it's
all
one
great.
of the questions we have in our men's group is like, is this true? Like, is what I'm saying true? And it's like, oh, you know, it's right. Hang on, I'm fucking alive. Hang on, I get to, I can smile. And it's like, you smile and you're like, oh, hang on, I'm on the sunny coast. Hang on,
Yeah.
Southeast Queensland. Hang on, I'm in a first world country. Walking into Real Grocer.
Yeah.
That's you know, I've got a plethora. Hang on, smile, lady. Oh,
Yeah.
all of a sudden the truth is revealing itself because you're no longer holding that story that everything's fucked.
Yeah, that's fucking sick.
Which
man.
is, dude, yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Meg is kind of my vibrational tuning fork because I get serious. I'm a very serious guy. And I come over to her, I'm like, am I being a bit fucking boring? And am I not very fun right now? And she's like, yeah, you're being so fucking shit. And I was like, I'm serious again, aren't I? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, okay, gotta be fun, gotta be fun. And I'll just start making noises and moving. And like, that's been huge for us. You know, Meg being pregnant at the moment, I've just seen her as like this precious woman that I can't, you know, play around with and be dirty and wild and freaky with.
yeah.
And you know, more recently over the last couple of weeks, I'm just like, you know, you're my dirty little whore. And she's like 33 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, and you're also the mother of my child, but you're also this. And it was like, oh.
Yeah.
The game, it's
Dude,
these little games between you, you know?
And it sounds like you were just like having that sort of awareness with yourself. And like for me, that's when we get to actually be the creator, like be in relationship with the creation.
Yeah.
Rather than letting the creation kind of dictate us.
Yeah.
And that's fucking loose,
Yeah,
man.
and
That's when shit gets like wobbly.
Yeah, finding your center in all moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, sitting there yesterday and I felt a little bit wound up and I was at home doing nothing. And I was like, why am I fucking feeling wound up right now? I only had one coffee and I was feeling a little bit weird. And then I was like, I'm safe. I just put my hands on my, I was like, I'm safe. I am home. I am whole. And I was like, fuck, that felt good. Why the fuck was I like, I was like sitting on a couch in a heater.
Yeah, it's comfortable. That's what dogs are for. Good
The dogs
sometimes.
are ground, like relaxing, like fuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the dog fucking brings me into that.
Yeah.
That often, like looking at her, I'm like, she's fucking. All she wants to do is go for a walk and have a feed and just be with me and be happy.
Dude,
and
I know.
She's only got what 10 to 15 years of life. On
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah.
What am I
Every
complaining about?
human should own a dog, man.
I
Every human
know.
should own, and a good dog.
Yeah.
Like a dog that, the dog you get out there. It's like having a dog changed. I was like, oh, I don't need to save the world. I just need to go for a walk.
Yeah.
I'm probably just hungry, or I just need to have a drink of water. Like that's the dog doesn't think about that.
Oh man.
Oh, you want to have a nap in the middle of the day? Like, cool.
Yeah.
She gets her morning light each morning too, man. It's pretty interesting, eh? She'll go out and get sunlight every morning. It's the only time she does it. First thing in the morning, it's her go-to thing. I was like, wonder why she does that.
Yeah, that's the like my circadian rhythm is being reset by this fucking dog that won't let me sleep in. Okay, and then wants to go out, and I got to go outside and we throw the ball. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You're let me pay you cash, man. You're my you coach. How much is this session?
Yeah.
Oh man, thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah,
it was
bro.
Great, fucking great chat. Holy shit.
What time is it?
It's 12:58.
12:58. I got a client in 2 minutes. Go.
Oh, perfect time.
All right.
But yeah, man. So where can people find you and for your new retreat and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. I work predominantly with men. So the thing that we run is called the Gathering of Men, 4th to the 7th of October. It's in the Gold Coast hinterland. Tickets are just $777. It's one of the most affordable retreats. We organize all the food, all the water. You just got to bring camping gear. And we've got 15 absolute legendary facilitators, all guys that I look up to and that I roll with and are delivering incredible work in their own right.
Cool.
And we've got incredible all-in experiences. We've got all these amazing sort of choose-your-own-adventure workshops. We've got an incredible storyteller in Leon Cossa. We've got a bush poet coming from out where I'm from, coming to do a bush poet's breakfast. And all of this is really just to create an opportunity for you to challenge yourself, for you to be celebrated for the man that you truly are, and for you to connect with a brotherhood that's got your back. And those three things are what I believe are missing in men's lives: challenge, celebration, and connection. So bringing all of that together for one weekend, 4 days on the land, I believe is an annual thing that every man should have access to. So that's why we're doing it. Hit me up on the Jacob O'Neill on Instagram, and you can check the link in my bio, or shoot me a message. I'm always down for a chat.
Cool, man. Awesome, bro. Love your energy. Thanks for coming on. And
much love, man.
And for lads, jump on it. Jump on it. If your soul's calling you towards it, jump on it.
I probably don't need it. I'm all sorted. No, I'm joking.
I'm good.
I was just thinking, fuck. Actually, you know what? I'm probably going to go to that. That'll be sick.
Bring it on.
Hell yeah.
All right. Much love, bro.
Big love.